Welcome back to Wicked Auto. So, another install today. It's a little bit cooler, thank the gods, but I'm still sweating my ass off because it's so humid today now. So, what are we doing? We're doing some new power running boards. So yes, this being a limited, it did already come with the factory running boards, which I mean, there wasn't anything wrong with them. They work nice, they were okay, but there's better ones. Let's take a look at them. This is what we have going in. Power running boards from Boost Auto. This is their Lumastep M2. My understanding, they have updated these. And if you would go on their website, as usual, I'll have the link in the description. If it's not for a Ford, GMC, Dodge, Ram, whatever it is, it will either say coming soon or you can already get them. If it says coming soon, just keep checking, because I know they're working on them for everybody. You can get them with or without lights. So on the steps themselves, which is what these are, you see the white bar here in the step, that is where the light comes out. Again, you don't need the light if you don't want it. You can get regular ones and still have a power, or fixed ones if you would prefer fixed running boards. Obviously, this is everything sitting here. Only thing I took out were the wiring harnesses. Boards are still in the box, motors are still in the box. So if we take a look, you can see this sticker, driver front, passenger front, and then rears. Rears don't matter if you get them mixed up side to side. For reference, so let's get on here. There's my end, okay? That's the front mounting with the motor, okay? Now, my hand from the palm to the tip of my finger is about 8 inches, okay? That's how big that one is. This is the factory one, okay? You can see how much beefier their mounting motor is. These are all the wiring harnesses. Like I said, if you order, it depends on your options that you order, what you're gonna get. You may not get all these harnesses. So this one here that I already took out of the bag, that one is for the rock light. On the lights, you can do the turn signals, white, amber, running lights, or rock lights. So this is the harness for the rock lights. This one, what's that one for? That's just the lights, period. You take that and plug it into the main harness, which is the big one right there. That is the power harness to get them to operate. This is for the lights. Plug that into that. This would be the plug and play adapter if you so choose, or you can hardwire it into your headlights for the lights themselves on the boards. This one is the other side for the lights, main harness, washers and nuts, spacers for the boards if you have the spacers, or if your boards come with spacers, put them in. Zip ties, and then wire insulator. And then these are little spacers. So the wire that's left underneath the board, you tuck your wire in there, and this fits right on the board to keep it tucked up and looking nice. Last thing, that is the actual control box. So the main harness is gonna go from your boards to the battery for the power, and then your main harness, which that'll stay up by the battery. But these are all the pieces. Now we just got to install it. Now, because I just showed the factory motor for the boards, I already took off the driver's side. I did not take off the passenger side yet. I'm going to do a comparison. I'm going to hook up the driver's side, get that working, and then we can see the factory and Boost Auto's new step on at the same time. We're also going to measure to see the difference in how far they drop, right? Because that is obviously important, especially the higher you go in your truck. You want a lower step. So we'll see if they're the same or higher or lower. But let's get into it and start installing first. First thing, sorry for the messy garage, is going to be the motors. Okay, we've got to get them installed first, and I'll get you under there. But you just, the holes on the mounting bracket, you line them up underneath, right? It's that simple. Put them in, but do not tighten, right? Because we want a little adjustability until everything's perfect. We got everything where we want it, then we'll go back and fully tighten. So let's get into it. Okay, so we're putting in the front motor, front driver side motor, right? So you got to use the bolts that are already in the truck, ready to use. The frontmost bolts and the rearmost bolts are the ones that are supposed to be used. I cannot use my frontmost bolts because taking off the factory, the top one, air rattling, is loose and it's not going to come out. And there's no way to get it. So now I'm gonna have a rattle in there. Won't that be fun? So I'm gonna try to hold that down, clamp it down, and put a nut on it to keep it still from rattling around. But because of that, I gotta go to the middle set, but lining it up, it's right where I'm gonna be stepping on the board on the driver's side, so I'm not worried about the weight too far forward and, you know, bowing or anything. So we're gonna use the second one. But let's go ahead and take this motor. You line up the holes here. There we go. Okay. Now you take your washer and your nut and you put them on. But like I said, you don't tighten them down. You just want to get them on there at the moment. And snug them up, but that's it. Don't get them too tight so you're still able to adjust and move around. 1, 2. I will say, be prepared. This motor is pretty heavy. I mean, this motor here probably weighs as much as the factory, both motors. And then one on the top. Okay, so we got that on. Okay, so got the driver's side done. It's ready to go. Okay, so how you put the boards on, right? I showed you the motor, okay? And then there's the holes that are in the bracket for the board itself. You take the screws that are provided, you slide them in the end, in the slot, okay? And then you line it up as it's sitting here, okay? I mean, that's the way to do it. You stick them in, you line up the holes. Go ahead and put the nut on. Don't have them tight, of course, both sides, okay? Then you adjust however you want it. Like mine, I lined mine up with the crease right here at the back of the cap. So it goes straight down, so then on both sides, they're perfect, right? Perfectly lined up. You may not be that OCD, maybe you want yours in a little bit more or farther back, but that's the adjustability. You can slide them forward, backward as much as you want. That's how it looks on. This is the Boost Auto M2 steps, Lumen N2. I do think they look pretty damn good. Let's see, do the unlock. There's the light. And then of course, as soon as you open the door, they drop down. There you go. Just like normal. Close the door, takes a second, and comes back up. Just like normal. There, the noise was the factory one finally going up. That one takes a little longer to go up, actually. I do actually like the lights. I was a little iffy on the light, but I do really like it, actually. All right, so let's get this door open and measure. Pause that. Oh, let me grab my tape. Okay, let's get this door open. Okay, so from where you got to step in, from the top of the plate to the door sill, oh, we're at 11 inches from where you're going to put your foot right here. 11 inches, okay? Check factory. See, factory takes longer to close than the Boost Auto. All right. Okay, factory steps, they drop to 13 3/4. 13 3/4 on the factory and 11 on the boost. So be aware of that if that's something that would concern you. Just so you know. Now the wiring. Let's go through all this wiring. So I showed you all the harnesses, right? So the main one, it's still a mess. I have not cleaned it up here. So the main one, the thick one right here. So it goes down to the box right there, box. Plugged it in. Now the driver side, which are labeled driver side, zip tied here and then drilled into the plastic piece right there going along the edge of the firewall. Drilled into that so I could put these zip ties right here. So I could zip tie it up away from the heat. And you can see that goes the whole way around. And then you just put it right there down through, down inside of the fender liner and pulled it out underneath. Now there is a lot of slack underneath. Look at all that. There's definitely a lot of slack, but it's all up out of the way. And then this little cord, wire, this is what you put through the rubber grommet. Right there where the orange goes in, there's a rubber grommet right there. So what I did was take a little screwdriver and poked it from the inside. Let's take a look at that. It's the easiest way I've found. There's rubber grommet. You see the cord coming out of there. So I just took a little screwdriver, poked a hole through the inside here to the outside, and then took my wire hanger and taped the wires to the wire hanger. Or hold on, wire hanger from the inside too. Okay, pulled the screwdriver out, put the wire hanger through the inside, taped it up right here, and then pulled the wire hanger with the wire back through. That's all this extra, because I don't want to, I'll just zip tie it up here. I don't want that in the inside. So when you do that, now this is for lighted, okay? You got, without lights, you're not gonna have to do any of this. So under here, you're going to go to that plug right there. Okay, you unplug it. Do it now here. So I can do this backwards. I can. Okay. So you unplug it and then you T-tap with the provided ones. You use them on slot 6 and 7 on the top side. So if you turn this like this, you're looking at it this way. That's the top, 6 and 7. 6 is the high, 7's the low, which is also labeled right here. Won't focus, but that's what the stickers are. They're labeled high and low. So you know which one you need to put where. Okay. So those are for the signal wires, okay? Then also up here is another wire. You're not gonna be able to see it. There's one that goes into the headlight down here. I'll show you on the other side. If you have the second battery, just know the driver's side is going to be a bit of a pain to get your hand up in there. So where this is connected right behind there, that's where you gotta go. It is definitely a pain with the extra battery in between the frame to get that bulb out. But there's a white connector, which I'll show you on that side. You run to that side, and then the one that goes in the headlight. Same thing for the passenger, which this is the white connector right here. Okay, passenger, driver, they plug in together. Same thing for the headlight. Okay, this is the one for the passenger side. You just run it down in there. Okay, you got to take out the 2 screws right here, which are 7/32, and to remove the liner. And there's one clip right here. It's one of them annoying ones too. And then right there is where your plug is for your headlight. Now this is LED. You just unplug that. I have the plug and play harness. So you plug it into your headlight and then you plug that in. That's it. This is for the rock lights. If you got them, I did get them, but I want to wire them to my aux lights, my auxiliary switches. So I got to figure that out and then finish that up. Because I don't want to put the switch inside the cab when I already have switches to use. And then positive and negative for all these wires. So this one, the thicker one, is coming off the main harness, right? That gives you the power. The little ones, that is for the lights. That's off the light harness, okay? I mean, just like anything else, positive, negative, okay? Positive first, then the negative. That's it for that. I mean, it is really that easy. Same thing here, you just run it down the inside of the fender. I just taped it to the same hanger, ran it down through. And you see that big old mess because of course the passenger side over here is not hooked up. So I just let them hang until I can plug them in and then I will zip tie. Because this side still has a factory, right? So there it is. Let's get the other side on. Again, many different options. Sequential, switchback, white, amber, running lights, rock lights. I mean, these things are awesome. And they do hold the 600 pounds per side. I mean, there's really nothing else to it except they're freaking awesome. Oh, and so just so you guys can see, actually, I want to point something out before we go. So these on the boards themselves, so this is just the normal texture on the top of running boards, power running boards. You can get foam, like a foam pad, to go over them. One comes in a hex design, one's a triangle design, and they'll come stuck on there if you would prefer that instead of just the regular running board look. That looks good. Yeah, we're gonna have to get a shot at night for that. All right, y'all. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and put the passenger side on and we'll get that taken care of. Okay. Now that it is dark, let's see what these lights look like. Look at that. That is gorgeous, isn't it? Matches all the other white perfectly. I mean, it is bright too. Look at that. Look at the ground. Now, granted, there is no other lights around here, right? It's pretty dark right here. But that is bright. That's nice. Now, of course, I just hit unlock, so everything turns right back off, right? Let's do the turn signals because, so these are the switchback sequentials. So the white is the running light or the rock light. And then you turn on the turn signal. Well, I guess I gotta turn on the truck first, huh? Boom. Man, I'm telling you what, you're watching this video, you've probably already heard of Boost Auto because you know good quality stuff. But if this is the first time you're watching a Boost Auto video, check them out. Links in the description. See y'all next time.